Hey to all those nail lovers out there. This is Laurel with Gellin' with Laurel, your independent distributor for GelMoment. It's February and Valentine's Day flowers and hearts are in the air. I have done a couple of sets already this month to feature the colors of the month for February, which is Read My Mind and Ladybug Rouge. Those sets were mostly red, a little bit of pink, more of your normal Valentine's Day colors. But if you're more like me, I love dark colors. I am way more of a dark color than a pink and red girl. So I'm doing this set to show you that there is other ways of doing a Valentine's Day or just a pretty set that doesn't have to be necessarily pink or red. So I'm hoping if you are like me and you like the dark colors, you are going to enjoy this set. Now I'm going to be doing a one-stroke flower on 2 nails as accent nails, and I'm going to be incorporating the color of the month with the one-stroke flowers, and then I'm going to use the other color of the month, which is Read My Mind, and I'm going to border out the nails to accentuate the flowers. All I'm doing here is coating the nail plate with the Raven's Kiss. You want to make sure between each coat that you give it a full cure. If you have GelMoment products, it's going to be 60 seconds in the mini lamp or 45 seconds in the professional or the deluxe lamp. And of course, I will leave the details below on what products I use to complete this set in the description. So right now I'm using the Ladybug Rouge and I'm using the fan brush, and I'm just kind of sporadically putting it on a couple of the nails, kind of dragging through before I do my first cure. If it was a little bit more of a contrasting color, I think it might have turned out a little bit better. So after I cured it, I believe I painted right over it. But I just wanted to show you why there's red on the nails, so you're not too curious on why in the next step. So like I said, there's a couple little bit of a red flecks that you can see after the first cure, but we're gonna paint right over those. So this is just me doing a second coat, and I would have omitted it because it seems pretty redundant and I don't want to bore you, but some people like to see the complete full process, so I'm keeping the section in. I'm just speeding it up so it doesn't bore you to tears. And also in this quick process here, I would just like to thank all of the new followers, the people that have liked and commented on my video. It means a lot to me to be able to show new techniques and new ways of doing things to all of you, and I really appreciate those of you that are following, subscribing, and liking. So thanks. Now here I'm going to use the Read My Mind, and I'm just going to lightly drag through those same nails that I put the Ladybug Rouge on as an accent. So in some cases, when I'm pulling this through, it is going to show the red below, like the Ladybug Rouge. So it's not completely omitted the Ladybug Rouge underneath. I just think that it needed a little bit more pop, and the Read My Mind definitely gives it a little bit more pop because it has that nice glitter. And of course, once you're done, put it in for a full cure. Now here we are trying to get the palette ready for the one-stroke flowers. So I'm using the Stamping Gel White, and then I'm going to use a red, which is number 13 of the Stamping Gel. And I'm going to mix that red in with the white to give a couple of different shades of color. Now the reason I'm using the stamping gel is because the gel polish is a lot more translucent, so you would have to do a whole bunch of layers to do a flower. So if I use the stamping gel and I mix it a little bit with the gel polish, then it's going to give that consistency and enough opaqueness that the flower, I'll only need to do one coat on the flower, maybe two if I want. Sometimes doing it twice makes it look a lot more better and in depth, but it's not necessary to do layer after layer after layer because the stamping gel is very opaque. So with the white here, I'm going to mix it with the Meet Me at the Chapel. You could also mix it with the Lovey Dovey. I have a small bottle here still from one of my kits that I'm just wanting to get rid of, so I'm using that in a lot of my videos. If you've been watching or following on a regular basis, you'll see me using the Meet Me at the Chapel quite a bit lately. But either way, you mix up the white on the palette, so now you have good opaqueness and it's not so stiff with just straight stamping gel. It has a little bit of movement with the gel polish mixed in. So now, as you can see, this is a brush from the GelMoment Creativity Set. It is a one-stroke brush. It's an angled brush. The Creativity Set has two sizes of angled brushes, a large and a small. That was the large one. But before we start doing the flowers, we want to make sure we prep the nail. So you want a matte surface. So I'm using the GelMoment mini file. It looks gross and disgusting because I just use the same little file here for nail art until I can't use it anymore, and then I chuck it and use another one. So I'm just using the buffer side of the nail file, which is the 220 grit, and I'm just giving the nail surface a slight buff to give it a matte sheen. What this is going to do is kind of give it a porous surface, not a slidey, polished, glossy finish, so that the nail art is going to have a better chance of staying put while you're doing your work. If it was a glossy finish, it's going to, you know, kind of slide off, and you might get separation in the polish and all the other good stuff. So again, here is the angled brush that we're using. Now this part is the most important. You're picking up at the bottom of the angled part, so the shorter part, you're picking up the darker color, and at the pointed end or the top of the brush, you're picking up the light color. So dark and light. Just think of light shining down. You want to have light on the top, and the pointed end is always pointing upwards. Now here you're just dragging and moving it across, and you don't want it a huge amount, just like that. And I'm so sorry, but when I'm trying to teach you guys something, I'm always off camera. Anyways, so then we're going to close the rosebud. And I've slowed this right down so you can see me dragging it across and pulling down to make a tail to close the bud. Hopefully that was nice and slow so you could see how that was done. So every time I'm doing a section, like we just closed off the rose, I put it in the lamp to cure. You have to let it cure for at least 10 seconds so it doesn't move. Now here I'm just using the brush and kind of sliding, lifting, pulling, and there is some petals. It's kind of a technique. I grabbed some paper and acrylic paints and I practiced to try and get the strokes down, and it helps a lot if you practice other than just doing it on the nail. And of course, I still have a long way to go too. I see some women and men that can do one stroke painting, and they're just amazing. So it takes some time, but it is a beautiful way of doing art, and it's so easy. So here I'm just making a couple of small rosebuds. And we're going to kind of give it a little bit of leaves and stems and make it look almost like a little bouquet when we're done here. But first we're going to make sure that we put in enough rosebuds for our liking. I think I'm happy with that, so I'm going to put it in the lamp for a full cure or even a 10-second cure. Not necessary to do a full cure right now because we're going to keep putting it back in the lamp to keep setting it. So as we're doing that, it all cures, and then before we finish putting a top coat on, we'll do a complete full cure. So I don't know if you've noticed, but I have two different flowers going on here. But we've been basically teaching off of just one nail. I went off camera on the other one, so I kind of just omitted it because there was really no point in showing it because there was really nothing to show. So I've added some Sublime to the white mixture on my palette. I'm just going to give it a nice little mix here with the long liner dotting tool in our creativity set. And I'm going to use this green mixture with the long liner brush. Actually, I think this is the medium liner brush. And I'm going to just make a couple of stems coming from the rose and all the buds in behind. And once I have those stems in place, then I'm going to make a couple of strands of grass and then some leaves, and that's pretty much going to be it for the whole set. It's just the matter of doing it. So when it comes to doing fine lines, you want to have more of a liquid type consistency in your polishes so that it drags across the nail plate a lot more easy and a lot more fine. If it's too opaque, it's going to kind of like chunk up and make balls, and it's not going to be very pretty. If you have problems with getting the right consistency, you can always add some rubbing alcohol, just a little bit into the mixture, and that will thin it out a little bit as well. Just make sure not to put too much rubbing alcohol in it, or you are going to dilute the gel polish completely. So this is the second nail that I've done. I'm just going to fast forward through this a little bit because, again, it's pretty redundant, but it still shows you the way that I've done it for the ones that would like to see in detail how everything was done. I don't have all the greens. I have a lot of GelMoment colors, but I don't have too many greens. I have Sublime, Feeling Ferny, Emerald Envy. I think that's it for green. So I'm going to make a green. So black and yellow, believe it or not, actually make a nice green color. However, I grabbed a little bit too much black, and it's a lot darker than what I would like. So I'm grabbing some of the mixture that we already have down here, the Sublime and the Meet Me at the Chapel, and I'm bringing it in a little bit. Also, that's going to help with the opaqueness because of the stamping gel we used in the first mixture. So here's the small angled brush in the creativity set. So if you look here, there's the large and the small brush in the creativity set, angled brush. And we're going to do the same thing as we did with the flowers. We're going to load our brush at the tip with the lighter colors, in this case being the yellow and the white. And then we're going to take the darker, the green, and we're going to take that on the bottom part of the brush. We can't see really as clearly with the green here that I'm doing opposed to the red that we did with the flowers, but you want to load your brush and put it down on the palette with the lighter color on the inside or the outside. Just make sure it's the same on both sides. You do that to make sure that the bristles on both sides of the brush both have the same coloring on it. And then once you've got that down, then you're just going to make a couple of leaves coming off of the stem, and you're basically doing the same kind of movements that you did with the flower. You're just going to put it down on the nail plate, drag it up, touch, 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 and then come back down. Now, because you're kind of going all over the nail, if you feel more comfortable giving it a 10-second cure after you've done one leaf, then go ahead. But if you don't and you feel like you're okay, just make sure that you watch that you don't hit any of the wet polish and smudge it on the nail. So here I'm just filling in the bottom part of the stem, or the bottom part of the flower, the top part of the stem. I'm not sure actually what it's called, but it's where the stem meets the flower. You want to make sure that you have that included. Now, I would have loved to have a way brighter green here. I think now looking back, I think it's a little bit too pastel-y, but if you were going to make it a little bit brighter, you would add a little bit more yellow. Definitely. Maybe even a touch of blue might have helped brighten it up a little bit, but you know, the set ended up working out okay either way. And after you've done all that little bit of a detail, you want to give it a full cure, and then we're going to top it all off with Clearly Frisky. Then once you've got the Clearly Frisky on there and it's completely covered, then you want to give it another full cure. After you do the full cure, you can outline it a little bit with a little small micro detailer if you like. I tried with this set to do a little bit of a micro detailing and give it a little bit more, detailed work, a little bit more lighting, but it just didn't look right. So I actually just took it right off and left it with just the Clearly Frisky. So this is a step you can do or a step you can omit. The three nails that I kind of put in the Ladybug Rouge and the Read My Mind in as a little bit of an accent, I'm going to top it off with the Clearly Frisky as you see here. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to level out the whole design. Sometimes even when you self-level, like what we've done here, the Read My Mind and the Raven's Kiss were leveled together before they cured, but sometimes that leveling's not perfect. So the Clearly Frisky levels everything out really super nice, and it just looks sometimes 100% better. I really think if you're going to do any type of nail art or just nails in general, Clearly Frisky, whether you need a top coat or not with GelMoment, is a definitely a to go to put in your kit. When I first started GelMoment, I thought, oh, Clearly Frisky, you don't need a top coat? Well, why would I get it? Well, that's why. You want to make sure that you have that top coat. It's very important, really, honestly. Just get the top coat. So here I am with the Read My Mind. I'm bordering out the nail just to make it a little bit more fancy and to make that accent nail pop out even a little bit more. Read My Mind is an excellent choice for giving a little bit more oomph to the nail, a little bit more accent, a little bit more glitter, a little bit more, just a little bit extra design. Read My Mind is beautiful, and this month, Read My Mind is one of the colors of the month. So definitely take advantage of it, because what better time to get it than when it's the color of the month? If you are doing this on your natural nail plate and not on a artificial nail like I am, then you want to use a liner brush or a petal brush or something a little bit smaller instead of using the big brush out of the bottle, unless you feel comfortable doing it, but most people don't feel very comfortable doing that. They feel that they're going to make a mess. So here with the Clearly Frisky, I'm taking the Clearly Frisky and I'm coating the three nails that we put the Read My Mind on. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to use the Ladybug Rouge. I'm going to take a liner brush. I'm going to load it with the Ladybug Rouge, and I am going to drag it through those nails. Now, the reason I'm doing that is just to tie in with the flowers just a little bit more with that red color. The reason I did it, put the Clearly Frisky on, is because when I'm dragging the color through the Clearly Frisky, it's going to help self-level. And instead of having like one big solid straight line or even jagged line on top that kind of doesn't look like it fits in the nail, this is going right into the Clearly Frisky. They're going to self-level together and it's going to look like it's part of the nail. So I have had some questions and I just want to clarify. The reason why I'm doing it on a set of nails is because I sell press-on nails. I am also a nail tech, so I also do nail enhancements and nail art and manicures of any type and size. And then I also am an independent distributor for GelMoment. So I have a lot of different things going on with the nails. And I just want to share my knowledge with you guys. I love GelMoment and its simplicity. I love that it's a one-step polish. There's so many things that you can do with it, and I keep learning every day with the one-step polish. And yeah, you just got to practice and keep at it. So I put this in the lamp for a full cure, 45 seconds, as I've got the professional lamp that I use. And that is the finished product. And here is also a couple of other sets that I've done for the color of the month for February. And you can find those how-to videos on my channel. I hope that you liked the video today. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe for some more great content. And I hope to see you in the next video.